Hello, I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc, with another one of these little videos designed to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves, and these are strange days indeed. This week I'm teaching out of my book, The Theory of Everything. I gave you the genesis of the book on last Monday's video. Today I want to talk about another principle, because God ordered the universe to operate on principle, and if you'll operate on principle, principle always works. That's why it's called principle. Jesus said that God makes the sun to rise on the just and the unjust, the rain to fall on the just and the unjust. What was he saying? He was saying that God set the universe up to operate on principle, and principle works for everyone. I'll give you an illustration, then I'll talk about today's principle. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, when we were pastoring in Lima, Ohio, we had a lady. She was a quintessential suburbanite lady. She worked as a teacher, and her husband made a living as a high-stakes professional gambler. She was a faithful person. She tied into the ministry. Every time I asked for a $100 seed, she was always the first to sow a $100 seed. I asked one day, I said, "Does your husband mind that you always tithe and sow seed into the ministry?" And she said, "Oh no, he loves it, because he knows that when I tithe and I sow seed, God has to bless him, and he goes out and wins big money." And I said, amen. If a professional high-stakes poker player understands the power of principle, people of God really ought to understand the power of principle. Now here's another principle. You only get out of a thing what you're willing to put into a thing. Let me say that again. Once you get this principle down, you're only going to get out of a thing what you're willing to put into a thing. If you're not willing to invest in a thing, it's not going to pay dividends in your life. Well, what kind of investments do you make? The first is the investment of effort. I have discovered this over the years. The harder I work, the more favor I find in my life. May I say that again? The harder I work, the more favor I find in my life. Favor doesn't manifest just because you're sitting around saying, "I'm blessed and highly favored of God." Favor manifests because you find something to do and you invest the effort and energy into that thing in order to produce the results that you want to receive out of your life. If you're willing to make the investment, if you're willing to put forth the effort, it's going to work out. You have to invest the effort. Secondly, you have to invest a certain level of emotional energy into anything. My wife and I have been happily married now for over 48 years. Why? Because early on we decided that we were going to be happily married. We both came from dysfunctional families, dysfunctional in different ways, but totally dysfunctional families. We looked at our parents and said, we know what not to do. We're going to invest emotional energy into our relationship. And now 48 years later, I not only love my wife, I also like my wife. And I think she'll say the same thing about me, because we've been willing to invest the emotional energy into the relationship. Anything that you want out of life, you're going to have to invest a certain level of emotional energy into it. The third thing I suggest that you have to invest is excellence. You have to do what you do to the very best of your ability. Everyone is not an expert in everything. There are things I wish that I could do, but I know that I'm not ever going to be really good at them. I've dabbled around trying to learn to play the piano for the last 20 years. I've realized I don't have the temperament to sit down and do the practice. I can pick out a tune. I can play a few chords. I can't play the piano. I'd like to, but I'm not willing to invest the time, effort, energy into it to develop excellence in it. So I'm going to lay the piano to one side, and I'm going to invest in those things that I can do excellently. What can you do excellently? If you can find one thing that you can do with excellence that will generate finances into your life, you will be prosperous all of your life, and you'll never have to work, because you'll be doing what you really like to do, and you'll be doing it with excellence. So you need to invest the effort, the emotional energy, and excellence if you want to experience the very best in life, because you only get out of a thing what you're willing to invest in a thing. And I want you to invest wisely. I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc. I hope this little video has helped you in these strange days in which we find ourselves. I'll share some more out of my book, The Theory of Everything, next Friday. And next Sunday, I start a brand new series of messages called Of a Sound Mind. People are going crazy right now. Political unrest, social unrest, the pandemic is going on. People are tired. People are going crazy right now. But you don't have to go crazy. You can have a sound mind. This Sunday's message is called How to Get Through the Flat Spots of Life, because we are certainly in flat spots right now. How to get through the flat spots of life. It's powerful, it's prophetic, it's provocative. It'll help you, empower you, enable you. Catch it Sunday morning, 10 o'clock on the live stream at AspireChurch.tv or on Facebook at Aspire Church TV. That's live stream AspireChurch.tv or on Facebook Aspire Church TV. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. I'll see you Friday and I'll see you Sunday.